Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I will be going over a gameplay mechanics breakdown of this upcoming indie Souls-like that is set in space. It's a sci-fi horror mix. The best I can describe it's basically a marriage of Dark Souls and Dead Space. And I know there has been a lot of Souls-like games out recently, and I've enjoyed a lot of them. However, I have not been able to find one that had PvP. And the reason why I decided to do this video is because um, this game will have PvP. It will have this sort of invasion matchmaking system, which I'll explain later. I don't fully know of it, just from what I've been able to gather when talking to the developers, and from what I've seen on a stream when the developers were streaming it with the Angry Joe show. I don't know, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. Either way, I've put in probably 30 to 40 hours in this game already, on two different accounts. This is my newer account, so I only have two characters, but I'm gonna choose the one that's more advanced just so that I can showcase the different mechanics a little bit better. Um, so hopefully I can teach you some things in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and hopefully you'll like this because it's interesting to have a new Souls-like with actual PvP. Anyway, let's go with this guy. This demo, by the way, is available now on PC. However, it will be available on consoles. Um, I know Xbox for sure, Xbox One, but I'm not sure about PS4. This is coming up Tuesday, so you can actually download the demo and enjoy it for yourself. Anyway, so right off the bat, you should see that, of course, this kind of looks like Souls-like. You got your health bar, you got your mana bar, right, and then you got your stamina bar. Underneath that is some extra buffs, which I'll kind of get to. I'll get into it a little bit later. And top left corner you see is this cosmic um, clock, as best I can describe it. And if you see circle, that yellow circle moves around, obviously like a watch, and when it lands in those two pies that you see, the one on the left and the one on the right, they're in the symmetry. Um, this the enemies become stronger, and this game is set obviously, like I said, in Dead Space, and it's centered around this dark hole. So I guess the way they describe it in the game is that you have these different dimensions that kind of spill over, and that's when you will actually see these AI waves in certain rooms. AI becomes harder to kill because they get buffs. However, your loot drops increase, and you will also have these unique enemies spill over from these other dimensions, which is kind of cool. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how speedrunners run through this with that mechanic, and also for those who hate farming like me, having that mechanic that boosts loot drop, I think is nice. Um, you also see this larger hole. It almost looks like it almost set on like a 9 o'clock time zone, if you will, on that on that clock. That's when the space station orbit is directly centered with the dark hole. And that mechanic is also interesting because what it does is it opens certain doors. So some doors are inaccessible, but when it's aligned with that dark hole, they become accessible. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if it does um, do anything to the enemies, but either way. Um, and then besides that, you got your um, top bottom corner, you got your health injections. That's basically your Estus, which can be upgraded. You have your these three um, little squares. That's like basically tells you what kind of buff is on your weapon. For the right one, the top one is your accessory belt, if you will, um, which I have a flashlight right now assigned. You can assign different things to it. It's kind of like a hot bar, if you will, but just for one item. Um, there are consumables in this game too, which I'll point out later on. And then the left is the left square also tells you if you have any other buffs. So right off the bat, if you see me moving, you can see that this is basically like your standard, Souls like. You got your you're rolling. You also have backstepping, which is interesting. What's interesting too is that when you lock onto the enemy, your rolls are not there. You just backstep. So it's only backstep once you lock on. But if you're not locked on, you can actually roll. Um, I'm not sure about iframes on both in comparison. It seems like the rolls might be a little bit better. When I was trying to test it and I was trying to roll around enemies versus locking onto them, and it seemed I was getting hit less. But then again, um, this game is a little bit unpolished, and obviously you'll be able to tell later on when I showcase some moves. Um, it's not a AAA game. This is developed by a very small studio from Canada, I believe. It's amazing actually what they've been able to do, and the fact that they've been able to put PvP in here, which is what intrigued me in the first place. And there's you'll see some jankiness, you'll see some things here, but hopefully you don't judge the game by what it looks like, and this gameplay mechanic kind of intrigues you to wanna give it a try because the game is set to come out at the end of this month, and it's only $35. I mean, $35 for a Souls-like that has PvP, I think is pretty darn good. On top of it, it has co-op, online co-op, it has couch co-op. And yeah, it's I mean, it's pretty cool. That it has all that, even though their budget isn't that big. Um, what else? The game I think is on sale too on Steam and some other websites if you will plan to on getting it for PC. But either way, yeah. So let me show. I am playing with Xbox Elite 2 controller, so I'm gonna be kind of referencing the moves, based on the controller. But obviously, um, you'll know what it is depending on what kind of controller you use. So this game has a standard light attack, which is RB. Okay. Um, Standard RT, which is your heavy attack. So as you can see, it's slower. It has block, which is assigned to LB, as you see. It does not have a designated parry button, but if you block at the right time, you'll get this um, timed block. It's not a full parry, I'd say, because there are no animations. So this game does have a backstab damage, which is 1.5 times your regular damage, which I'll try to showcase later. Um, I have not been able to test whether it has like a riposte counter damage. So I've been able, and I'll show that later. I'll basically, you know, I don't know, time block this an enemy, and you'll see they'll be staggered essentially. But when I hit them, it still gives me the same damage. Um, Although it could be that this is just a demo and it's not in here, or maybe my weapon isn't fast enough. I don't know. Either way, we'll see when the full game comes out. But backstab damage is there. So no parry button. Your LT right now, if you leave controls the way they are, is basically a run. So run is assigned to LT. And the reason why I thought that was interesting because the game has this shield bashing move, which if your opponent is turtling, and if you do that move, it basically puts them into that stagger animation, and I'll showcase that too. And the way you do it is you hold LT and then you press LB at the same time. When you're next to the enemy who's shielding, and then you'll do this like it looks like a parry move almost, like a side swap with your shield, but it basically knocks the opponent off guard. Um, what else? So you have a dedicated jump button. This game has quite a bit of verticality, and the developer said that there are a lot of secrets in this game. Keep in mind, this is said that on a dark hole orbiting space station. So I think overall landmass isn't that big, but it's very interconnected. From what I've seen in the demo here, there are secret passages, all sorts of stuff. There's supposedly even secret or invisible ledges, kind of like in Dark Souls 1, the Thief scale, that you can only see with a flashlight. I haven't been able to find those here, so maybe they're not in the demo, or maybe I'm missing them, but they are in the regular game. Um, so anyway, A is your dedicate jump button, and if you see, it's quite high. So you'll see that once I start moving around that it does help. What else? So the game also has a weapon art. The weapon art is your special weapon attack. Okay, now all weapons have masteries. So this game has masteries, and there's different tiers of a mastery. So the longer you use your weapon, the more masteries you unlock, and obviously there's a limit. I want to say 5 is a limit, and from what I've seen, not every weapon has 5. Um, but these masteries have abilities that you can activate, or they have passive abilities. Um, so the one I have right now is assigned to my like a weapon art move, which is assigned to Y. So Y is your ability. So if I press Y right now, just watch my mana because it does take up mana, and you'll see that I'm gonna do this 2-hit combo, and that was just 2-hit combo assigned to my Y right now. Now I have another ability that I can switch to. And the way you switch your weapon abilities once you unlock your different masteries or tiers is you press right on your D-pad, and as you see, I can choose B, Y, X for the different weapon buffs. Y, if I choose Y, this comes from my infusion, which I'll get into in a sec, but this game does have this sort of infusion system. And if I press Y, it'll give it this buff. See, I have this buff on. This buff specifically increases my poise damage. There is poison in this game, which I'll get into in a second too. But let me go to the last one, B. Now this is an interesting one. This is actually like a homing AOE almost. I have to lock onto the enemy, so if I press Y right now, it's not going to do anything. But yeah, um, let me go back to this one, and then I'll showcase that one with the another enemy. Um, so that's the different move sets. And then now let's get some of the more advanced moves too. So different weapons have different move sets, like you would expect from a Souls-like. And what I noticed is that different weapon classes also have certain additional move sets that other classes don't, but then they don't have certain movesets that those other classes do have. And what I mean by that is this weapon, my weapon, this is like an ultra equivalent. And by the way, there is no two-handing, as far as I know. Only one-handing. But the developer did say on the stream when I was talking to them that there are some weapons that I think do allow you to two-hand it for a move, but there's no like pure two-handing like in Dark Souls. So anyway, yeah, so this already showed you the standard moves, but this weapon has an RB and then follow-up RB, which is a little bit slower, obviously. It has RT, which I showed, and then it has a follow-up RT, which is this slam. Here, actually, let me show it here so you can see. So this is kind of like a one-handed space launch, I call it, and then you have like this slam. This move, by the way, will knock down enemies. That's why I call it like a space launch. And if you play unlocked and you do that move, you can almost catch anybody in that like a half circle that it does. However, like I said, I will get back to unlock playing because it's kind of difficult. It's a little bit janky, and I'll show you. Anyway, so those are those move sets. Now, there's a jump attack that you would obviously expect. The jump attack for this weapon is the same regardless if you press RB or RT. The reason why I make the distinguish is because other classes, smaller class weapons, they have a dedicated jump RT, which is a slam, and then they have dedicated RB, which often is a swipe, is this air swipe, as best I can describe it. I'll show that in a second too. But this weapon basically has a slam down for its uh, jump attack. It has also a running attack. Okay, and what's interesting is that this sword has a. This is my running RB, so running light attack, but it also has a running heavy attack. So if you press run RB, you do that swipe that I just showed you. Now, what's even more interesting is this weapon has a running RT and then follow up RT to a running attack. That's that move you just saw, that kind of like side swipe. The second one is only going to happen if you do initial running attack and then press RT again after that. If you don't do that, as far as I know, I've tried different combinations, you will not get that moveset. So I thought that was pretty interesting that you have a distinguished running and running attack that's heavy and running attack that's um, light, and on top of it you have a follow-up running attack RT that's this basically the second one. Um, yeah, the swipe. Um, their running RB for this ultra will sort of pancake enemies that don't have enough poise and are smaller. The running RT will knock down enemies that don't have enough poise and are sort of smaller, and so will the follow-up RT. So like if you miss the first one because your opponent rolls, for example, but you catch them with the second one, you will knock them down. Um, now, blocking. Blocking is just like in Dark Souls. The more stamina you have, the more damage you can withstand. There is guard breaking in this game. Once again, there's no special animations for it, so I'll show you what it looks like. And when the opponent is guard broken, in theory, I think you should be doing more damage, but again, when I've tested it, it seemed like I was doing the same amount of damage. Maybe because this is the demo again. Um, the Yeah. So, anyways, let's go to inventory and the menus. So as you see here, you can have 3 weapons on you that you can switch to. You can have 3 offhand weapons. Um, the game does have magic, and it has the artillery equivalent in guns. So there are guns in this game. I'll showcase them. Uh, I'm not a fan of ranged weapons when I play these Souls games anyway, but I thought that it was interesting that they included archery mode, in terms of guns. Anyway, let me show you some other stats. Okay, so here we go. So we got the um, different stats. You see some of my stats basically, and then you see some of the melee. So if you see that linked Espadon, that's the name of the weapon. It's +8 because, like I said, this is an advanced character you play with in the demo. Um, my strength. So it has a requirement. These items do have a requirement, like you would expect from Souls-like games. The requirement is 11 strength. I'm getting 150 bonus. Um, Scaling and combined with an infusion, and which I mentioned before, and I'll get into details soon. But I'm getting that bonus from that, so you can see that this is a strength weapon you would expect of an ultra. And then if you go to this, if you see the second square where it says melee, the power, um, the power is the um, I believe this is the poise damage that I inflict, from what I can tell. Tenacity is your poise. This game, as I said before, has poise, and the best I can describe it, it's sort of like the Dark Souls 2 system, where you have some stationary poise, and then you can get knocked down, with the second hit or even the first hit if it's a really big weapon. Um, I've always liked that because that means that if someone's using a fast weapon, they can't just run up to you and quickly stun lock you for 2 hits like it is in Dark Souls 3. You can actually poise, if you have enough poise that first hit, and then initiate trade with them. And then if you hit them before they hit you the second time, odds are you'll break their poise if you're using something big like this Ultra. Um, so I do like that. Leech is a cool uh, mechanic spin on the game. That's basically how you get your health injections back and your mana. So the way this game works is it has these breaches. They kind of serve as your bonfire. This is where you level up and whatnot. Um, they do not refill your health injections. They don't refill your mana. The way you get that refilled is if you see I just rested, my mana is still halfway, is you have to do damage. So that's where that leech stat comes in. Weight, obviously, that's the weight of the um, sword. There is weight in this game, so you can be overweight. I mean, you can be basically over encumbered. I suppose similar to Dark Souls, and you're probably slower. As you see, my load right now is 39 of 67, so I'm at 59%. I have not tested it. I have not gone on purpose above 70. As I said, this character is advanced, so you kind of start off with more of the equip load. Um, so I don't know what happens if you're over 70. I also I'm trying to level up this character so I can see if maybe the rolls are faster or further if you're under 50%. I don't know. That's I'm still testing that. Um, anyway, and then to the right, if you see, you have physical. That's how much damage I do with my sword. Energy, I don't do any energy damage because it's not infused with energy or magic. Kneel, that's like this dark hole magic I can think of. That's kind of how I can describe it. Maybe equivalent to dark, like in Dark Souls. I don't know. Induction is just another damage type. Entropy is another damage type, and then radiation. So those are the different, basically, energy types. Besides the physical, the going from energy down. Um, and let's see different weapons. Okay, see here you can see different weapons. So I have this red saber, which is kind of like a fast dagger. This here, this cube, this is like um, a gun almost. It shoots. This is like a short sword. This is like a fist weapon. And then you have your this here is like a mace, and then this here is basically like a like a they call it channel of light. It's almost like it does shoot magic, so it's almost like a what do you call them in Dark Souls? Um, the caster weapons. You can fight with them, but they're predominantly meant for casting magic. And that's the different weapons. You do move while in menu, just like in Dark Souls, so be aware. Go shield. So I have the offhand. Here you can have a shield. You can use the that cube for shooting. So you can basically have like a weapon in your right hand, and then you can shoot with the left hand. Here's another shield, and then here's that casting trident, whatever the hell you want to call it. Um, so you can have that. So you can still have a right-handed weapon, and you can cast with your left hand, basically. Like in Dark Souls. Here's your different helms. Um, they have the different protection right there on your right. If you see, they have the different poise, weight. They do have armors do have requirements, which I thought was interesting. If you see, this one has strength reflex 3. This one has reflex of 10, cognition of 4, which I'll get into stats in a second, but let me show you the different um, armors. So here you can see all these. This one requires foresight, whatnot. So here's some of the hands I have, and some of the leg armors. Yeah. The game has 2 ring slots. That's what I call them. They're called body. One's a body module, one's a mind module, because the way this game kind of explains your inventory management is that you have this Omni Cube, and your Omni Cube is basically like the upgrade for your. It serves as an upgrade for you and your weapons, whatnot. So you can have one body module, one mind module, which is like I said, that would be equivalent to your rings. So I have two body modules. The one I have right now is provides slight health boost, and this other one basically allows me to draw power from carried Exions, which are your souls, if you see top right corner, to increase reflex. Reflex is your dex, so obviously I'm not a dex build, so I'm not using that. And here's my mind module. Reduces vulnerability to nihil forces. That's that dark hole magic basically damage. And then I have this other one which is increases whereas foresight capacity at the cost of physical defense. So this is probably like for your ranged, you know, builds. Here's the health injections. Mine's +3. You start off at +2, but then you can upgrade it to +3. And this is your Omni Cube. So this is like your hotbar. So you can see I have three things. You can have three things on your hotbar. I have flashlight. I have this is I think like a path guide light where it kind of shows you where you've been. Like if you get lost, if you activate this, I'm pretty sure this is. Yeah, so here's light. This is basically a um, bonfire transporting item. Um, I forget what they're called. I know in Dark Souls 2 there was that Harpy's Feather. This is basically like that because it doesn't go away. So you can always warp back to your bonfire or the breach. Yeah, pathing. That's what it's called. Yeah, so this kind of shows you where you've been. They also have this Omni Cube jukebox, which is funny. If you pick that and you activate it, it actually plays this Euro track. I thought it was hilarious, and this alarm. This serves as a like alarm for enemies. So if you activate this and then your nearby enemies that you don't see them, this kind of goes off. Um, this game does have dark spots, but I prefer having the flashlight instead of like relying on an alarm because with the flashlight you can see better. Um, anyway, let's get into stats. So you have your stats that which you would basically expect of your Dark Souls. Health, stamina, energy is your mana pool. Load, that's your equip load. Strength, reflex is your dex. Um, Foresight is, I believe, the what you upgrade if you want to use magic, whereas cognition is what you want to upgrade if you want to use guns. So I thought that was interesting, and they do have like interconnected scaling too, from what I can tell. For example, if you have a weapon that uses strength and reflex as scaling, if you upgrade strength and reflex at the same time, it does tend to increase the damage a little bit more versus someone like in Dark Souls because this game does have um, soft and hard caps on stats. So if you see my health, I got it up to 40. My stamina, I got that up to 24. I got my load up to 20. Then I got my strength up to 42. This character's level, I think, like 140. But you start off with like level 68 to begin with, which is why you see some of the other stats increase, like foresight or cognition. Um, anyway, yeah, level 149 tells you right there. It tells you the level cost of Exions, which is basically souls. Um, Mobility. This 91% mobility, this I believe is tied to your equip load. So if you see me, this is me just walking, but if you see me running, you can see that it's much faster. Um, when I started out with this character and I put all this armor on him, I didn't have equip load where it's at now, and I was walking slower, and I was running a little bit slower. So I don't know if mobility is tied to iframes for dodges. It seemed like it was. It seemed when I was heavier, my backstep wasn't as far, and maybe my rolls weren't as um they didn't go as far, but I couldn't tell for sure. I'm gonna try to test that with another new character. But go back here. Yeah, and then you have your defenses, obviously, to physical and the different energy inductions, all the other stuff. If you see my kneel defense is up to because I'm wearing that one this mind module. Yeah. So um, and here I'm gonna give you here's a quick um, description. I mean, I already explained it, but yeah, you can basically, this is what you would expect out of a Souls-like. Tenacity is what they call poise here. Other than that, everything is pretty much, the same. I'll leave this up here for a second so you guys can read. Yeah, there's the total defense too. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Inventory. Yeah. So inventory has different slots, kind of like your Dark Souls. You have your miscellaneous. Um, you have these Exion, just like in Souls, you have these Exion scraps that you can basically pop. It seems that you can hold up to 999, so up to 999 of an item, um, because it did let me go above 99. Here's okay. So this isn't just printing. So this is your upgrade materials and 3D models. So the way this game does weapon making is that you go to this station and you basically 3D model your prints. So I found these prints, and if I want, I can go ahead and take them and 3D print them, and they become actual gear. So I thought it's kind of cool how the game introduces that, because your character is also sort of 3D printed. So I kind of like how they did that. Um, Here's the different keys. So as I said, this game is very interconnected. You have a lot of passages, and you will find a ton of keys to open certain things that you may not be even aware of you need, or um, that you found at completely another spot, and then it turns out that it opens some other door on the other side of the space station. So a lot of exploration in this game for sure. Here's the OmniCube programs. You already saw that. The different accessories, like I said, that's your rings. And then we already saw um, the armor. Now this is the upgrade chips. So the way the game does infusions, because this is what I would call it, is you have these upgrade chips. Okay, this is the one I'm using right now. As you see, it's got the E for equipped. Um, they have they increase your scaling of the weapon that you put it on, depending on what stat they scale off. So like this one scales off strength. This one adds radioactive damage based on cognition. This one adds induction damage based on the foresight, and then this is a catalyst. So this one you can equip on the catalyst, like that general of light. So I can equip this on um, this weapon. So you can have this on your catalyst, and then you can have another infusion on your right-handed weapon, which is kind of cool. Um, and the way this works is that these upgrade chips is you can, let's say you find a weapon that you like and you want to try out, you can move your upgrade chip. You do have to go to a station, as far as I know. That's the only way I can change it here in the demo, and I'll show you that. But I can take the strength cube right now, the strength chip, and I can switch it to, and I can put it into this, um, whatever this is, a mace. I can put it into this mace. But if you see this mace scales of strength and reflex, so I'm not getting the most bang out of my buck in terms of scaling. However, this demon scythe that I have scales of strength. So I could basically go to this station, and how my weapon is +8, I can move my upgrade chip to this weapon. It'll become automatically +8, and it gives it the extra scaling and whatnot. So instead of upgrading your weapons and farming to upgrade your weapon, you're upgrading these chips, and then you can move it around if you want. For me, this is awesome because I hate farming to upgrade weapons. So, and I like to usually stick with one weapon class. So this is great for me. For those that like to switch weapons a lot, I think it's good too. The only people I guess that may not like is people that like to have maybe three different weapons at the same time that use the same scaling. But then again, if you're gonna have three different weapons on you here, it doesn't make sense that you would have the same three. Like you wouldn't just put an ultra, a hammer, and some big ass axe here that all scale of strength. I mean, you probably would put ultra, maybe like a small weapon for finishing or something, and maybe I don't know what else, fist, for fun if you want. So obviously those would scale of different chips. So I don't think that's such a big idea. Um, anyway, so that's that. What else can I tell you here? The different. Okay, yeah. So I was talking about the movesets before. Um, so what I said before is that certain movesets are exclusive to certain weapon classes, and then they're non. And then basically those weapon classes will have different movesets that like this ultra, doesn't have. So what's interesting is this ultra class weapon. I mean, this is the only ultra I have, but I don't have a rolling attack. So if you guys know, Dark Souls has a rolling attack. Um, the rolling attack here is basically a running attack, and it doesn't matter if I'm pressing roll into RB or if I'm doing, backstab into RB like here. It's the same animation. Um, the rolling RT is basically this, so it's the same as running RT. You know, so if I run and I press RT, it's the same animation. So if I switch to the saber, which is like your um, kind of dagger equivalent, um, its RBs obviously and RTs are gonna be much faster because it's a smaller weapon. So here's RB, okay, here's RB and then follow up RB. Here's RT and follow up RT. So notice that RT is definitely slower than the RB. You got this spin and then this half spin, right? Half swipe, whatever. Um, however, if you see what happens when you roll, I'm going to show you that this weapon class has dedicated rolling attack. So if I roll and press RB, I get this slightly faster swipe, right? But if I roll and press RT, it's basic RT. So this does not have a rolling RT. Okay. Now, if I do a jump attack and press RB, this is what you see. Oh, I mean, here. This is jump RB. See, it's this air swipe. But if I press jump and RT, you see you have the slam down. And if I do running attack RB, it's this spin. So this is my running RB. And again, if I try to do RT, running RT, you just basically do regular RT. So it doesn't have that. Um, the yeah, and then what else? So it has no running RT and doesn't have that or follow up RT that the Ultra had, but it's got the different jump equivalents and it's got the rolling RB, right? So you see that it has the two move sets that the Ultra doesn't have, but then doesn't have the other two move sets that the Ultra does have. And this is the common theme with the different weapon classes from what I can tell. So here's like a straight sword equivalent. This Here's a RB and then follow up RB, which you would expect from a straight sword. Here's an RT and then follow up RT. Okay. Here's your rolling RB. Okay, which is pretty fast. Here's your running RB. As you see, it's different. Here's your running RT. Okay, so it does have a running RT. Now, if I try to do follow up RT, it's this. So it's the same as basically. Yeah, so it's hold on but that moveset is here on something else. Um, oh yeah, so RT and then follow up RT. So yeah, so let's see. So you see, yeah, so the running attack RT is basically the same as a regular RT, and the follow up RT is the same. See, so it has no dedicated RT moveset, but it does have a light jump, right? Let me move my camera away. Hold on, so you guys can see. So it has a jump, and it has a heavy jump, which is a slim down. Um, and then yeah, and then here. Let me see. Here's a fist weapon that I can show you. So here's an RB, follow up RB. Here's an RT, and then follow up RT is this weird swipe, which is pretty much the same as follow up RB. Because if you see, just a little bit slower. Um, it has a jump A swipe and jump RT, which is slam. Rolling RT, that's rolling RB. Here's rolling RT. So rolling RT and RB are the same for this fist weapon, I guess. And it has no follow-up RT on a running attack. So if I do, hold on, let me do a running attack. See, it does have a running RB. Hold on, which is kind of, yeah, which is like this swipe, right? Which is like this overhand swipe almost. Cause look, yeah. Um, so let's do running RT and then follow up RT. So yeah, no follow up RT on a running attack, but it does have a this weird running RT, which is like a wind up. Yeah. And then if we go to the scythe, here's the scythe. Um, Here's your RB. Follow up RB is this poke. Here's your RT and slam with an RT. It has a jump RB, which is a jump poke, jump slam, which is your jump RT. Let's see a rolling attack. That's the RB of a roll. That's RT. So as you see, the rolling RT is the same as a regular RT. So there is no dedicated rolling RT. Let's see if we have running RB. So there is a running RB and a running RT. Yeah, there is a running RT. Let's see if we can do running RT and then follow up. Okay, so no follow up running RT. Okay, just running RT and running RB. Yeah, and that's the regular RT. What's regular RT and then follow up RT? Okay, yeah, yeah. And then let's see. Let's see the mace. The Channeler of Light basically will cast magic, so I'm not really gonna show anything with that. But let's. Oh no, this is a staff. Never mind. I thought I had a mace. The staff will have similar moveset to the Demon Scythe, but notice that RB is a little bit faster. This is RB. Let's see follow up RB. Yeah, so this is a little bit faster as a staff. Okay, let's see your RT. And then follow. So okay, so the RT is slower, and follow up RT is a little bit faster. It's the slam. Okay, let's get stamina back, and then let's do rolling RB. Okay, so it's this dash poke, rolling RT. Huh. Okay, wait. Okay, so yeah, so it does have a dedicated rolling RT, because if you look at it, it's a little bit faster. Yeah. So let's see if it's a follow up running RT. No. Okay, so no follow-up running RT. Okay. Uh, jump RB. Yep. It's this whatever swipe, and then jump RT is gonna be slam down. Okay. Yep. And I think that covers all the different weapon classes I have. Like I said, the channeler will just cast magic, so I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. So from little of the weapons that I have, you can kind of already see the difference in the few extra movesets that, you know, it seems like one dedicated weapon class will have, two movesets then that other classes won't, and or they'll be split, where one will have a running RT and a running RB, but the other one will only have a running RB, but it'll have a rolling attack. I kind of wish that the Ultra had a rolling attack, which obviously I'm doing the rolling attack right now, but it's just basically running attack. I wish it had a dedicated running attack like the other weapon classes, but at least it has this running RT with the follow-up RT, so that's kind of cool, But those are slower, so the running RB I think, or the rolling RB I think would be a little bit better, especially later on when we, you know, talk PvP. But anyway, that's I think enough about the different move sets. We covered that. So yeah, I am gonna um, we covered the infusions too. So I think I'm gonna do like a quick run. Not sure where we are on time. Or I might just save that for another one. But maybe actually I'll showcase a couple things really quick because not fighting enemies it might be difficult to see. So there are other mechanics that you would expect from Souls 2. This game uses these kind of cool ladders. Reminds me of the hooks that you would attach to in the original the Surge one. There is a fall damage, but similar to Dark Souls, if you press the RB or RT as you're falling at certain time, you can mitigate that. On smaller jumps, on bigger jumps, you will take damage. But basically, if I just fall off here, you'll see that I'll take damage, right? But if I do a drop attack halfway through, and let me just get that. The bonfires do heal your health bar. They just don't They don't heal your injections, as I said. Oh, and the other thing I forgot about the breaches, which are the bonfires. This is where you can obviously level up, infuse your user, consume Exions. So that's where you can consume your Exions to level up again. Those are the drop Exions, like the little souls you find in Dark Souls 2. Polarized recess. So this is a cool mechanic that is equivalent basically to the Dark Souls 2 bonfire aesthetic system, where it allows you to increase the difficulty of the area. So enemies are tougher, they have more health, they do more damage, but they drop more souls. The loot drop chances percentage increases. I don't know what the increase in percentages. I've tried asking the devs about it actually when they were streaming, and they said it depends on the weapon. But for somebody like me who hates farming, I will definitely be using this if I want to farm something because I hate low drop items. So yeah, it gives you the extra souls, gives you the extra loot drop, and I want to say there was one more component of it, but I can't remember what it is now. Um, yeah, I can't remember what it is. And what's cool is, let's say you do that, and let's say you feel overmatched, you can go back to your breach, and you can basically scale it back down to your original setting. So I kind of like, unlike the bonfire aesthetic in Dark Souls 2, where you consumed it and after that, that's it. The area was just higher difficulty, and you got the more drops and all this other stuff. You got the unique gear. Oh, that's what it is. I don't know if there's any unique gear tied to the increase in difficulty. If there is in there in the actual game, I think that would be kind of cool. But just the fact that it does give you more souls and increases loot drop is I think pretty good. But yeah, you can kind of scale it like at the same time if you don't like it, which is kind of cool. I like that. Um, but anyway, so yeah, so let me show you the drop attack, and you'll see that I won't take any damage. See, so I pressed it about halfway through and I did a drop attack. So here, the other thing is that I forgot to mention, I'm going to showcase this here shortly, is um, move sets from different weapons have combos. When I say combo is shortened animation, so it seems like certain move sets, certain cues that you can do together, like let's say RB attack into RT, will have shortened animation for the secondary attack as opposed to what it would be if you just started out with attack. And what I mean by that is, let's say I do RB. Okay, so this is how slow it is, right? Let's say I do RT by itself, right? Look how slow it is. However, you can do RB into RT combo, and you'll see how much faster my RT comes out. So here's my RB, and I pressed RT. Look how much. Well, I wouldn't say that it's so much faster, but it's definitely faster. Um, and what I found is that those different weapons have these different combos, and it's cool because in PvP this will play a big role. You know, if you know you're using a certain weapon that you can, let's say, stagger your enemy, or if you miss the first attack, you can activate that second attack a little bit quicker. So I do like that. Another combo is running RB into RT. You know, that comes out that almost looks the same, but it feels like it's a little bit faster at least. You know, I can't check frames on the moves. Too dumb to do that, but just feels like it's faster if I do um, running RB into RT. Yeah. Um, the weapon art. Okay, so what's interesting is that like I said, when you have different poise too, the different movesets do different poise damage. My weapon art uh, damage that I have assigned right now, which is this two-hit combo, right? Um, from all the different movesets, I've noticed that it seems to do the most poise damage, um, or at least it's the hardest for me to be broken out of it when I attack. So it seems that when I use that move, it's harder for me to be staggered. So if it does the same poise damage as other moves, then at least it seems that like you can take more poise damage just from the way it seems. Um, that two-hit combo, by the way, is just with one press of Y, and I've only gotten broken out of the two-hit combo a couple times by a very big enemy when they staggered me out of that second hit before I was able to execute it. Um, but yeah, so it's interesting, and when the real game comes out, I'm gonna be anxious to kind of test it out to see if there's different damages. The RTs, since they're slower, they will, like I said, like this will knock your opponent down. The running attack will also knock him down. So I did the regular. Here's the running attack RT. Yeah, these will knock your opponents down. So the slower, heavier attacks will knock your opponents down, or they seem to do, like I said, more poise damage if somebody has enough poise because um, they're just the heavier attacks. Um, and anyway, yeah. So that's. I'm trying to think of what else I can think of mechanics wise. Um, I think that's about it for now. So maybe I can showcase some of these moves and kind of you can get the idea of what I was talking about. So let's go down here, fight some enemies. Um, the lock-on system is pretty good, and it locks them from far away. So here, I'm gonna see if I can like time block, and then I did RB into RT. So if you notice, the enemy was staggered there when I did the time block, but it gave me the same amount of damage as if I do RB now. See 61, and then I did a follow-up RT. So it did enough damage that I killed him. So as you saw, there wasn't a damage difference, even though I staggered the first enemy with that time block. So I don't know if that's, like I said, because my weapon is so slow. I mean, look at it. Although I did test it with faster weapons like the straight sword. Um, and when I did time block and I pressed RB, it did the same damage. So I don't know. Maybe that's just the demo, or maybe only certain weapons have riposte damage. I don't know. I guess we'll see once the game comes out. Anyway, now you can see that I killed two enemies, so you see my injection bar is filling up. So as it fills up, it increases your injections, which are your Estus equivalent. In the demo, the most you can have is 5. I don't know about the base game. So that's going to be interesting to test. Anyway, let's move on with the... Okay, let's see if I can aggro this guy and if I can do a drop attack. Oh, okay, see, here's the thing. Okay, I literally unlocked and locked back in mid-jump. Just, did you see how far that enemy was? So the big weapons have a nice reach. I do like that they have that big reach. Sometimes I'm even surprised how big of a reach they have. But anyway, going back to the jankiness. So I unlocked and locked back on mid-jump, and it pointed me towards this hand that was below me versus the enemy that I was looking at. So the lock-on system is very sensitive, and you can obviously change it around similar to Dark Souls, but it's very sensitive, and like I said, it locks on from very far away. Like, look, I'm locking onto that hand over there. That's kind of glitched out, by the way. Versus this guy. See, now I'm locking onto him. Um, there also I did notice that you can kind of chief your like here. I can hit this guy and just move. So the fact that you can do this pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah. See. Oh, I missed. Okay. So yeah, if their head is sticking out, I can hit him. Okay. Come on. Let's see. Okay, he dodged that. Okay, good job. Good job, AI. Let's see if I can hit you. Okay, he hit me. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Uh, okay, see, I pressed lock on and I locked onto the hand again. Okay. Okay, see, I got stun locked by that hand and by him. Whatever. Alright. And that's the drop, yeah. More Axions. Okay, so as you see, yeah, this hand is a little bit glitched out, so it needs to get back here, and then I can just whack it. So let's, okay. Jump, yeah. I'm not very good at platforming, but, oh god. But the jump is pretty responsive. Let's go and see if I can fight something else. I can show you. Now I'm gonna do running RT. I'm gonna show you how I knock down this enemy. So here's running RT with the follow up RT. So that's the other thing too. Is obviously this is AI, not human player, but there are iframes when you get knocked down. Um, but it seems that these certain weapon combos seem to catch at least AI as soon as they're out of those iframes. So um, I'm gonna show you the next time is a little bit tougher. I'm gonna do a running RB into RT and then follow up RT, and notice that I'm hitting him literally as soon as he's out of his iframes when he gets back up. And by the way, you can see that I have 3 health injections now. So let's do that. Let's do a running RP. This guy shoots. Running RB, RT, and follow up RT. So if you notice the second hit on the RT hit him almost, while he was still down. Um, but I'll show you here. So I'm gonna do a running RB. Oh no, I messed up. I did regular RB. Okay, let's do running RB. Yeah, see, if you do running RB and then press into RT, you literally catch them as soon as they get up. So it's kind of it's this cool combo in your AI. I don't know if that's gonna work on human players. Let's do running RT into weapon art. See, I did weapon art and I literally hit him when he was pretty much laying down still. And that's what I'm talking about. These weapon combos that they seem to catch AI literally when they're out of their iframes to get back up. Anyway, we have 3 injections. I still have a decent amount of health, so I'm not gonna use one yet. Let's see if we can find another enemy so we can do another. Okay, here's the hands. These guys die quickly with a simple RB, so I'm not gonna do anything here. Sometimes there'll be these tough enemies here. I don't know if I'm gonna have this tough enemy right now that I can showcase, but let's turn on the flashlight, and then let's aggro this thing. Yep. I want to show the backstep. Okay, perfect. So let's do a running RB into RT for this guy. See, and as he was getting back up, I whacked him, so he's dead. Ah, crap. He saw me. That's the guy I wanted to kind of do the... Yeah. That's the other thing, too, by the way. Enemies are very responsive to if you try to strafe around them to, like, look for a backstab. They will turn around quickly, and I do like that. Let's use one health potion, health injection. Okay, I can't backstab anybody here. Okay, well, either way, if I did, you'd see that I would do 1.5 damage. That's basically the backstab damage. No animation, though, as I said before. No different animation for it. I'm gonna go up and fight one more tougher boss, so you can see how that tougher boss is harder to stagger because he has more poise, and obviously he can stagger me easier. So let's see if we can go face him really quick. Um, and that will be probably the end of it. Um, let's see. There we go. All right, let's do running. There he is. Okay. So I'm gonna do running RB into weapon art into follow up RB. Or actually no, RT because I think yeah. So let me do running RB, weapon art. See, he knocked me out of my weapon art. The second hit. See, I only did one. He has more points. Now I'm gonna try to do maybe RT into follow up RT. Okay, that did enough damage. Yeah. See, he knocked me out of that second. See this second swing? I did not do that because he knocked me out of it. Let's do running RB into weapon art. See, this guy dies quickly. So, um, let's do now this guy. Let's do running RT into RB, which also I think combos for them. Yep. Yeah. See, he was literally. He looked like he was still down, but I was able to combo it like that. Anyway, I think that's it for now. Video, but if you guys like this, leave your comments below. Let me know if you want to see more, and I will be doing a full walkthrough of the demo. And like I said, maybe I missed some things, or you guys want to know some other extra things in terms of this of these mechanics, then maybe I can do another video. I will close out with this. So early on, I mentioned that this game has PvP. Um, I've seen it on the stream. The guy that was streaming got actually invaded. And the way these invasions work, this isn't fully explained yet, but the way it seems, the way they work is you have, which I don't think I even have here. By the way, there are taunts too. I forgot about that. You can see that there's an online. If I press the select button on my controller, there's that online and then taunt. The online, I think that's how you will be able to connect with your buddies for co-op, or if you want to invade somebody or have a match. So from what I can tell and the way the developers explain it is, and I guess there's a way to turn off the online mode. I mean, probably like an offline mode similar to Dark Souls. But when you start a game, you're going to be assigned a player tag number. As far as I know, this player tag number is 6 digits. And if you want to go online, as in like, not online, but let's say you're already online and you want to co-op or PvP, you share that player tag with the other person. And now the other person can connect to you as a co-opper, which by the way, you can only have one co-op buddy. So you can only have a host and a phantom. The phantoms are blue, which like kind of like deep blue color, which I and it's somebody the invaders look at the stream, and the way you would in terms of PvP is now that you know their player tag number, you can choose to, like I said, either co-op with them or face them. And the reason why I say it's sort of like a PV invasion system, matchmaking, is because if you share the player tag number with somebody and someone else sees it, they could then come in and invade you, as far as I know, because they know your player tag number. And so if you share it to other people, basically, or you share it accidentally to others that you weren't planning on sharing with, or let's say you play this and you create group post and you say, hey, who wants to co-op? Here's my player tag number, right? And you give that out. Whoever sees that, if they type in that player tag number, at least that's how I understand it, and that's from when I was watching the stream, that's what it seemed like. That other player invaded the guy that was streaming just because the guy showed his player tag number online when he was talking to his co-op buddy. So yeah, I guess you can have basically these unwanted encounters, which is basically like your invasions in Dark Souls, and I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, there is a way to reset your player tag number. From what the developer said, you have to quit out the game and you basically have to restart it. So if you're playing on Xbox, you would literally have to quit out the game and then restart it. So it's basically DCing. If you DC, that's how you would restart your player tag number. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. From what I can tell, you can have the most people you can have is four. So two invaders seems like, and a host and a phantom. However, there's also one other mechanic I neglected to mention, and I'm gonna show that right now. Perhaps I can show that right now. I don't know if I'm gonna die. Am I gonna die here? Yeah. Okay, so this game has a similar dying mechanic you would expect to Dark Souls, right? You die, you lose your souls, you have to go pick them up. However, there's a twist to it. So remember how I said this is centered around these the dark hole and there's different dimensions spill over and that's how you get these enemy waves and whatnot. Um, when you die, the game creates ghost replica of you, and this ghost wears everything you wear: your armor, your shield, your weapon. Um, it will do. It will have the same move sets that you have. If you unlock your weapon buffs, it'll be using those weapon buffs. If you have body modules on you, mind modules, it will have everything that you have on you. Um, there's a way to exploit it because if you defeat your ghost, you get something like I don't know if it was 25 times your level equivalent in Exions, which is souls. I think that's what the dev said. So there's that incentive to fight yourself, and your ghost cannot heal. Obviously, you can heal, but your ghost is gonna be pretty formidable. Actually, the first couple times I died, that's how I learned of the different move sets because he was doing the move sets that I had no idea existed in the game. Um, so let's see if I can actually do that. I'm trying to think where I want to die. Do I want to die here? Because I don't know where the ghost is gonna show up. Yeah, so he usually is around your souls. Let's just do it here. Let's just die here. There we go. Okay, let's just die there. Spawn deceased. All right, and we're gonna start at the bonfire breach, so I can show you just how tough these guys will be. So going back to PvP, so let's say you can have two invaders. Seems like host co-op, phantom, and you can have this ghost of you if you died recently. Now there are some other mechanics too involved with PvP that I haven't explained because I've seen them, and when I asked about them, the dev confirmed it, but obviously I haven't experienced them myself. The one mechanic is that when you invade somebody and they died, you can actually go and pick up their Exions. And if you pick up their Exions, they are lost to the host forever, it seems. Um, a guy on a stream that was streaming the game got invaded by another guy. This was after he died, so he had a ghost of himself to contend with and this invader was trolling him. And then the invader ran up, took his souls, and when the streamer eventually killed the invader, he only got souls for killing the invader. He never got his original souls. So it seems like as an invader, you can steal people's souls, and once you steal them, they can't get them back. Um, which is I think a pretty cool troll mechanic if you ask me. The second cool mechanic with invasions is that as an invader, you don't aggro AI similar to Dark Souls. However, if you want, you can help the host by killing AI. As an invader, you can actually attack AI and do damage to them. Once you attack AI and you hit them, they will aggro on you, but it will only be that specific AI that you attacked from what it seems like on the stream. So like when the guy got invaded the second time by the same guy because he didn't know that his player tag number had to be changed. The only way it would get randomly reassigned is if he quit out the game, which developers eventually told him. Um, the second time the guy got invaded, the invader was actually helping him kill AI. I don't think an invader can go with you to the boss, obviously, but I think it's a cool mechanic that like you can get invaded by somebody and who knows, maybe you feel like helping the struggling host and you actually help out kill AI. I mean, that's pretty cool. Um, I don't know much about mechanics from the invader's perspective, so I don't know if, for example, like how now you see that I'm back to two health injections. I don't know if you start off with I don't know if you cannot heal as an invader, similar to how it was Dark Souls 2. I don't know if maybe you have to do enough damage to get health injections with that leech stat. So I don't know those. Like I said, I don't know anything from the invader's perspective. But here, let's go quickly, and I'm gonna show you the my ghost that I'm gonna have to fight in order to um, get close to my Exions. Um, all right. Where's this guy gonna be at? He's probably gonna be on top. Okay. Let's do this. All right. So my souls are gonna be on top, and he's probably gonna be on top there somewhere. I'm gonna see if I can find him. So here's my souls, and there he is. Okay. You see that? He's got everything literally as me. So I'm gonna see if I can guard break him. Okay. See, I guard broke him there. That was the I. Yep. He's doing that. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can guard break him again. Oh, shoot. Come on. Turtle. Yep. Guard broke him. And got him with the RT. I did not have... Oh, okay, let's see if I can do follow-up RT. Okay, see? He was in iframes, but... Oh my god. Alright, let me... And I did it. There we go. So I blocked that attack, and then I activated my weapon art. Yeah. So... If you notice, I did RT, I knocked him down, and I did the follow-up RT that works on AI. It did not work on him. So yeah, it makes sense that certain weapon combos that I was explaining that seem to work great on AI, where you can basically hit them as soon as they're out of their iframes from getting knocked down. They don't work on human players. So that's good. That's good to know. Anyway, that's all I can think of right now. If you guys liked this, enjoyed it, let me know what you think about the game, especially the gameplay. Like I said, I know aesthetically this isn't the best game, but this is a small studio. I'm impressed with what they've been able to do, and I do hope that the game gets enough hype because it will be a cool setting Souls-like, in my opinion, with PvP. So I'm very interested in PvP. I will be streaming this game day one, and I will probably attempt to do co-op and invasions day one too, just to see how that works. But anyway, more to come on this game in the next couple days, and stay tuned. Thanks again.